In the late 19th century, a single farmhouse in the quiet Bohemian village of Komárov became a slaughterhouse. Behind the doors of estate number 30, a man systematically eradicated his new family, one by one, using a weapon that left no blood and made no sound. His name was Josef Englich, and his greed would claim 5 lives in just 6 months. But the true horror of Komárov number 30 didn't end with him. Welcome to Cold Bloc. Komárov, a small farming village in the Krudym district of Bohemia. Today, as in 1884, little has changed. The fields are quiet, the houses are old, and at number 30, the building still stands. In 1884, the Marešov family lived multi-generationally on this prosperous estate. The household included grandparents Josef and Anna, parents Václav and Terezie, and their 33-year-old daughter, Marie. 3 generations under one roof, not unusual for rural Bohemia. But beneath the surface, the family was quietly falling apart. Marie had an illegitimate 6-year-old daughter, also named Anna. Worse still, the child had been fathered by Marie's own Schwager, her sister's husband. In 19th century rural Bohemia, this was not merely gossip. It was a stain that could ruin a family's standing entirely. They needed to fix this. They needed a husband for Marie, and quickly. Enter Josef Englich, 27 years old, a railroad worker with no money and no prospects, 6 years younger than Marie. Not an obvious match by any measure, but for a family desperate to restore their reputation, Englich was available, willing, and asking few questions. They married on the 22nd of November, 1884. The family exhaled. Their problem, they believed, was solved. But the estate came with strings firmly attached. A předsvatební smlouva, a prenuptial contract, obligated Englich to pay Marie's parents 1,500 zlotych. To put that in perspective, a skilled laborer in Bohemia at the time earned less than 1 zloty per day. Beyond the money, Englich was legally bound to provide wymianek, lifelong housing, food, and care for both sets of aging parents. He had signed away his financial future. He had also, it seems, already begun planning a way out. Englich found his loophole in the most mundane of places. In rural Bohemia in the 1880s, arsenic was sold freely, no prescription, no record, no questions asked, as common rat poison. Tasteless, odorless. Its symptoms, agonizing stomach cramps, vomiting, and a slow deterioration indistinguishable from ordinary gastric illness. For a man with a house full of elderly dependents, it was practically invisible. The slaughter began in January. On the 15th, Marie's mother Terezie died after days of agonizing stomach cramps. She was 58. 2 months later, on March 12th, grandfather Joseph perished. 4 days after that, grandmother Anna followed. 3 deaths in the space of 2 months. The village whispered about a sickness sweeping estate number 30. Josef Englich played the grieving son-in-law perfectly, but Englich wasn't finished. On the 8th of May, Marie's 6-year-old daughter, little Anna, died in sudden, violent agony. She was the child Marie had carried in shame, the stain the marriage was meant to erase. With her gone, Englich had eliminated every inconvenient secret tied to the estate. Only his father-in-law, Václav, remained between him and full ownership. On the 1st of July, Englich brought Václav a slice of buttered bread. The moment Václav finished eating, he fell violently ill. The next morning, Dr. Fich was summoned. The doctor stood in that farmhouse and looked around him. 4 deaths in 6 months, all with the same symptoms, and now a 5th man convulsing in his bed. He did not reach for his prescription pad. He reached for the authorities. On the 2nd of July, Dr. Peake put his findings in writing. His note stated plainly, Václav Mareš could not be moved. His condition was too grave. It was this document that set the final events in motion. Investigating Judge Wacer did not wait. He rode to Komárov himself. There, at Václav's bedside, he took a formal deposition, a dying man's sworn testimony recorded in situ. Václav stated clearly that the illness began the moment he ate the bread his son-in-law, Josef Englich, had given him. That evening, Václav died. His words survived him. The court ordered the exhumation of all 4 previous victims. Chemical analysis confirmed what Wacer already suspected: massive concentrations of arsenic in every body. 5 victims, 5 arsenic poisonings, 1 household. Josef Englich and Marie were both arrested. The village of Komárov, it turned out, had never believed in the illness at all. From his cell, Englich did not accept his fate quietly. His first move was bribery. He attempted to pass money to the presiding judge and prosecutor through a prison guard. The guard went straight to the court. Strike 1. Undeterred, Englich turned to forgery. He manufactured motaki, smuggled letters written in Marie's handwriting, in which she confessed to all 5 murders. Handwriting experts dismantled the forgeries within days. Strike 2. Still, Englich pressed on. He approached a fellow prisoner, a man named Hajek, and persuaded him to carry letters out of the prison. One letter went to Englich's own parents, asking them to poison Marie so that her death would look like a guilty suicide. Another went to his wife, asking her to confess and to take her own life. Hajek handed both letters directly to the prison warden. Strike 3. The walls of Englich's cell grew considerably smaller. The trial lasted 2 days. The evidence was overwhelming. Arsenic in 5 bodies, a dying man's sworn testimony, forged letters, bribery attempts, and a plot to have his own wife murdered. The jury acquitted Marie unanimously. She had no motive to poison her own child or her own parents. Josef Englich was found guilty on 5 counts of premeditated murder. The sentence, death by hanging. The jury had spoken on the 22nd of November, 1885, 1 year to the day from the wedding. Death by hanging. For nearly 3 months, Englich sat with that verdict. On the 13th of February, 1885, Crudum woke early. Tickets to the execution had sold out. Executioner Pieperger had arrived the evening before. At 7 in the morning, it was done. A correspondent from Narodní Politika was present. The crowd watched in silence. Englich walked with unsteady steps. He did not confess. As the rope was placed around his neck, he whispered his final words, Umiram nevinně. I die innocent. Marie was free, in name at least. Acquitted by the jury, she was nevertheless destroyed by the verdict of public opinion. Employers dismissed her when they learned she was the poisoner's wife. She petitioned the courts for relief from debts she hadn't created. She wandered the region seeking work, burdened with a child Englich had fathered. The estate was lost. The shame she had tried so desperately to escape in 1884 had followed her into a far darker place. The farmhouse at Komárov number 30 still stands today. The fields around it are quiet. The village has largely forgotten what happened there. Some stories don't get monuments. They just get walls that remember. Komárov number 30 was sold at auction shortly after. The buyer was a man named František Novotny. He moved into the same farmhouse, walked the same floors, and reached for the same poison. He would go on to murder 7 infants. But that story must wait. Because next, a discharged soldier walked home from a forgotten war. He brought the slaughter with him, 59 bodies across Central Europe, killed for coin, for sport, and for something darker still. His name was Martin Rohach, and he is next. If you made it this far, you already know what this channel is about. Like the video, subscribe to Cold Bloc, and stay with us. There's always another door.